Sit up straight.
Now.
Welcome to the Just Sports Show on WLAF, 1450 WLAF.com, as well as the AM side of the dial, 1450. Also, we want to say thank you to your Hometown Sears for the sponsoring. We're live here at the Hometown Sears studio. My name is Les Martin, along with our executive producer. Of course, Brent is out tonight. We have Coach Kane, furthest gentleman to my left. We have Logan Berry, Stretch Bailey, Carter Wells, and Tanner Davis here from the La Follette Owls, the middle school Owls, which they finished third in the season in the standings and fourth in the district. So before we get started, we need to talk a little bit about our sponsors. First and foremost, we want to say thank you to Sears, your hometown Sears store located in the Food City Shopping Center. Their phone number is 562-7700 for all your supplies that you need inside or out. It's almost time for laundry. You can make sure you do that as well. Lawn care, also over-the-top microwave, over-the-range microwave, as well as stoves, refrigerators, washers, dryers, you name it, they've got it. They can take care of you inside and outside of your home. Also, we want to say thank you to Charlie's Pizza, often imitated, never duplicated. For 38 long years, they've been doing pizza right. Their phone number, 562-0116, or if you'd like to go in and sit down and have a fantastic place to eat with your family, great family environment, family atmosphere. Jerry Parton and the crew will take care of you. Once again, their phone number is 562-0116. Also, we want to say thank you to All-Star Awards, 720 Jacksboro Pike, La Follette, Tennessee. Their phone number is 562-6761. They're right across from the Sonic. Also, we want to say thank you to Rainbow Ford. It's extended service hours for all of your Saturday needs. If your vehicle needs to be fixed, repaired, or how about just a service? Old man Winter just doesn't want to turn us loose. How about a coolant flush? Folks, make sure you go down to Rainbow Ford. Their phone number is 562-2251. Last but certainly not least, of course, Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette beside the Birds Memorial Bridge. For all your screen printing needs, like the top that I have on, the sign that you see hanging up that these young men got to sign before the show, we want to say thank you to Bird Screen Printing. Their phone number is 562-3044. Now, to get started, we're going to have a great time. The coach and these four young men will be on the show for the first half hour. And let's see. Thank you for calling Just Sports. You on the air?
Hi, Liz.
Hey, how are you?
Ben?
Are you doing better?
Yeah, I'm doing lots better. I talked to my mommy.
Well, good. You're supposed to.
Yeah, I got to talk to my brother, maybe talk to my mom.
So everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good, thank you guys.
Have you got any questions for these young men? Have you got any questions for these young men that I've got on the show tonight? No? All right. Who's your favorite team? All right. Bye-bye.
Have you had a good weekend?
I will have a good weekend. You have a good weekend as well, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Here we go. We're going to get started. First and foremost, Logan Berry is a point guard. You're in the 7th grade.
Yes, sir.
You're going to have to talk loud.
All right.
Okay? So don't be shy. Talk like you're talking. You got a girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
You do? What's her name?
Shaylin Williams.
Shayla Williams?
Shaylin
Williams.
Yes.
So she's probably red in the face right now because you mentioned her name on television.
Probably.
We also have Stretch Bailey, and folks, I can tell you the reason why they call him Stretch. I gave the pen to these four young men to sign their name on that sign that's hanging up behind us, the Just Sports sign. And he had to make sure that he extended his arms and was on his tippy toes. He wanted to sign the very top. And as far as you're 8th grade and you play center, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Carter, we have also Carter Wells. And what position do you play, sir?
Shooting guard.
Shooting guard. Are you a shooter? Coach, is he a good shooter?
He's a very good shooter.
Very good shooter.
He's worked a lot this past season and really improved.
And you're in 8th grade or 7th grade? 7th grade. So you've got 3 of these. We can't forget Tanner Davis. Tanner, what position do you play?
Power forward.
Power forward. Is that a position that you like to play? I mean, is that something that you're
Yeah.
comfortable with?
Yes.
Logan, are you comfortable with point guard?
I'm very comfortable with point guard.
Is there any animosity between you and Carter as far as who wants to shoot the ball when the game's on the line?
I believe I want to take the shot.
You believe you want to take the shot?
Yeah.
Me.
Why would you want to take the shot? Just for the last minute heroics?
Yeah.
Yeah? What about you, Carter?
I don't think I would want to take the shot.
Well, you're the shooting guard. Coach, if you had your choice between these two young men, I know. Who would you want the ball in their hands at the end of the game when the game on the line? Out of these four guys you got sitting here.
I want any of the four of them to take a shot. If we always try to get the ball in Logan's hands,
Right.
at the end of a game, just because he can distribute the ball where it needs to go. He's got good court vision, makes good decisions. Carter makes good decisions, great passer. Tanner, great shooter. He can hit from anywhere on the floor, and we always try to look inside the stretch. So any of these four guys, I'm comfortable with the ball in any of their hands at the end of the game.
As of this year, this past year, your season's over, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, as of this year, that middle school ball, is it done with all except for,
I think the Final Four are still playing in the region.
okay. Outside of everything this year, you went 9-10, which was a very respectable record, especially in the division and the district that you all play in.
Well, our district record was better than that. We played a tough non-district schedule this year to try to prepare for tournament time, and we played Webb twice, played CAK, several tough non-district games. And you don't get any better, I don't feel, by playing teams that you beat to death. So we try to always schedule a fairly tough season.
Looking back on your season that you just had, what's maybe a thing that you could have changed? What would it have been, if anything at all, Coach?
I would have changed our strategy for that last game, for sure. Which we didn't do a lot different. We played a man, we played Jacksboro man the first two times and the last time. We stretched it full court this last time. We didn't do that the first two times, and we got beat long a few times and never could really recover from that late in the game.
So you played Jacksboro, and by the way, boys, is Jacksboro a pretty heated rivalry?
Yeah.
Is it because it's just this close, or is there something personal about it?
We're all buddies, and when it comes down to it, we're all hyped.
So you just want to beat Jacksboro,
Oh, yeah.
and y'all done a great job. Y'all beat them twice during the season. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What was different, Logan, for La Follette Jacksboro during the season compared to La Follette Jacksboro in the tournament time?
I believe they were more prepared in the tournament time, and they came hard and they worked hard. Came on and worked hard, and they wanted it more.
What about you, Stretch?
Basically the same thing. They came ready to win a game.
Let's get this call. Maybe it's somebody going to ask us a question. How about that? Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
I can see what I'm actually doing too.
Why's that?
Look at those quick-cut haircuts.
Oh, I know. They're looking sharp, ain't they?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that sounds like they got a good coach, a good clean cut with me, and I wrote that lady the paper today.
Well, good. You got the address that I gave you the other night.
Yeah, and I put this sports last night, and Bill Allen had a great sports show.
Okay. We certainly appreciate that.
And I invited you to come and be in your house in Campbell County and get out before something drugs breaks his neck or back.
Okay.
Their son is in his house expert.
Okay. All righty.
So I got it in the mail too.
Well, good for you.
So So you fellas be careful. Don't let the guns get a hold of you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Femcon Just Sports, you on the air?
Just want to ask a question there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. There's somebody else on there now. You want me to go ahead and ask now?
Yeah, go ahead and ask now.
Okay. I want to say that I think that they've done a good job so far, and I really appreciate watching them, what they've done. And I was going to ask Stretch, I heard that his grandpa had a heart attack, and if he played the last game for him and got 19 points, and I just want to congratulate him and tell him we're praying for him and for his grandpa.
All right. Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All righty. Bye-bye. So, something like that does bring someone to the next level as far as playing. It's, and I certainly hate to hear about that about your grandfather. Hopefully he's doing better.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Well, good. Getting back to La Follette and Jacksboro, Coach, I've got a question, a special question for you before we go off at 9:30. And it's nothing bad, so I don't want you to think. It's actually good. It's a good question, but outside La Follette and Jacksboro, what's some other teams that La Follette really gets up for?
Robertsville, I believe. Robertsville.
Robertson? Jefferson? Who do you think, Tanner?
Robertsville,
Robertsville? Why Robertsville?
because we play AAU ball with all of them, and we just want to go brag about to all of them that we beat them and stuff.
So how'd y'all do against Robertsville this year?
One of our games got canceled due to all the snow, and we were never able to make it up, but I think they beat us by 10 at home first. We were supposed to play them at their place the Friday night before the tournament started on Saturday, and we weren't able to make that game up.
Well, it's one of those situations, you're going to have 3 of these young men back next year. To go with these young men, how many more have you got that's going to be ready to play, to step in and replace Stretch?
I don't know that you can replace Stretch. It's very rare that you have a 6'3" center at, in 8th grade. But Landon Addington will come on and contribute a lot next year. Brett Longmire, one of the toughest guys that you'll meet, will come on and he'll help us out a lot next year too.
Stretch, where do you want to play your high school ball at? Or do you even want to play high school ball?
I do, and I want to play at Campbell County High School.
Campbell County High School. You want to stay home then, don't you? Well, good for you. We could certainly use that high this past year. I know Coach Housley's had a tough time with some of the players that he's had as far as matching up against some other folks. And how did you all match up? How did you all match up as players against these other teams that you all played? Stretch?
Well, we was just trying to keep them out of the paint, box out, keep them from getting any second chance efforts.
Thank you, Colin. Just Sports, you on the air?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Carter a question there, so I'm curious. You want to hear this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Carter, how'd you make your little smooth move there?
Answer that.
Smooth move.
Yeah.
What do you mean about smooth move?
The one that the center court there,
Oh.
the little finger roll,
Practice.
Practice.
So you practice that?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you was... Any other questions, Colin?
No, I would be good. Thank you, man.
Thank you. So what kind of move did you make?
What game was it?
I wasn't sure.
He's talking about the new finger roll.
No? Okay. Let me ask you a question, Coach, before we get another call. And I'm gonna ask you all this as well, but I'm gonna ask Coach his question first, so you can think about your question. I'm gonna put him on the spot, that way you give you some time to think about your answer. When you played basketball in middle school, what's one of the things that you remember the most as a middle school basketball player?
The thing I remember the most was Coach King chewed me out for an entire halftime. I committed a foul at the end of the half on a half-court shot, and player went to the line, hit all 3 free throws, and he took the entire halftime to chew me out in front of the team. Never said a word to anybody else. I remember that more than anything else.
I remember I never did have the opportunity to play for Coach King. He was the coach there when I was at that time it wasn't middle school, it was junior high. It was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I do believe. I never had an opportunity to play for Coach King, but we always knew he was a tough coach. So how tough was it playing for Coach King?
It was extremely tough. I mean, he was a great coach. I have the very most respect for him even today. Practice was hard. We were, conditioning was very important to him. We were always a real quick, fast team. And we did anything that he told us to do. Whatever it took, we got it done somehow, because we just didn't ever want to let him down.
Yeah.
And, if he told us to run through a wall, we'd try until we couldn't anymore.
Yeah. Logan, as far as your middle school career, you've got one more year left. So far, what do you remember the most about Coach, or something that's happened to you at middle school basketball?
He just pushes me every practice, wants to make me better, and he always tells me I have a bright future, and I respect him a lot. He helps me to get better. He pushes me, I believe, more than anybody on the team. He expects a lot out of me, and I guess we just have a relationship built there.
Stretch, what about you? What's something that's probably, this was your last year. I mean, there's the only thing you can do now is look back and think of all the good times that you've had, but what is something that you remember the most, or would cherish, or something of that nature?
It would be Michael helping me out with my post moves and my free throws. He worked with me nonstop to make me better at what I do.
Let's get this
Stretch is actually our best free throw shooter.
Really?
Team, yes.
Thank God, Just Sports, you on the air.
This question is for the coaching staff. If I was going to define each player's best qualities, what are those best qualities they bring to the players there?
That's a great question.
I'll start with Tanner. Tanner's probably the glue that holds this team together. He's got very strong leadership qualities. He's like the floor general. He does whatever it takes to keep people under control. He's kind of the calming effect out there on the floor. Carter sees the floor and makes some of the best passes that you could ask him to make. Stretch will do anything in this world that I ask him to do. He's there early, he stays late, he works on his game constantly. He works on it at the rec center. Anywhere he can find a goal, he's out there trying to get better. And Logan, I don't know, I can't say enough good about Logan. I'm harder on Logan, like he said, than anybody else. And I've always told him since day one that, if we do really, really good, it's his fault. If we do really, really bad, it falls on his shoulders too. He's the point guard. He's the leader of the team on the floor. He works hard. He wants the ball at the end of the game, and he takes it personal when we don't do well, and if we lose the game, he puts it on his own shoulders. And I think we all do that to to a certain extent, and I think the four of us and, the team chemistry has really improved this season. And I hate to see it come to a close because I feel like we're probably playing our best ball right now.
Any
I
other,
think that's good. The community's proud of you all for taking care of our kids. We're proud of our kids for the season. We really appreciate you, Coach Kane.
Well, thank you.
thank you very much, caller. David Collins, Just Sports, you on the air.
I have a question for Mother Mary.
Go ahead.
I have a question for Mother Mary. Do you think you'll make it to regionals next season? And how important will that be for you?
How what?
And how important will that be for you to make it to regionals next
I
season?
believe we'll win regionals next year, and I think it's very important. I believe that we can win next year. I mean, we have 3 of our starters coming back, and I think we all take it very serious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is.
You boys have blown it up. Maybe it's the hair. Thank you for calling Just Sports, you on the air.
I want to get those grades. If you don't get the grades, you don't get the praise.
Yeah.
And high school will be some easier than junior high because you won't have so many classes. You can get basketball and dig into your lessons and get them also. So be careful whatever you do, but get your grades. Bye.
Bye. She keeps me in line too, guys. Don't feel bad. What's something that you will remember the most, Carter?
Mr. Kane teaching me how to go to the goal, practice and stuff. That's what I work on.
Drive the lane, huh? See the hole, drive the lane. What about you, Tanner?
Just, I guess, getting in the gym and shooting a lot, and just getting the game, pulling down rebounds at crucial points in the game.
So you all took something away from Coach Kane that y'all remember for the rest of your life, much like, and that's the reason why I asked the question about Coach Kane, something that he remembered the most when he was in middle school, was simply because there is a defining moment at some point in time in your life when you're in middle school that you'll remember. Same way with high school. So, Coach, as far as your season this year, you've got a great bunch of kids, fantastic kids, well-mannered, very well-spoken. You're going to miss Stretch for next year. But each one of these kids, like that caller had asked, for you to identify each one of these kids and what they do, what has it meant for you this year as a coach to coach these young men?
Well, it's, like I told Chris with the paper, it's a blessing to be able to spend my time with these guys. I mean, they make me better. We're a family. I cherish the time that I get to spend with them. We've grown. I started last year. Last year was my first season. And, their parents have been behind me. And I know it had to be frustrating at times as I was learning, and still am. It had to be frustrating for them some. But they've stuck with me, and I couldn't ask for a better group of young men to have the privilege of coaching.
As far as last year being your first year, you didn't have a whole lot of experience, is that right?
I have zero coaching experience,
But
basketball coaching experience.
But you took the opportunity to go after this job, and it's actually something that you love, or you would have never, because it takes a lot of time to be a middle school basketball coach, would you say, to say the least?
Yeah.
So the support from the community and from the parents is what makes a basketball coach successful over the years of not only learning the kids, He's not only got to learn the kids, he's also needs to learn exactly what the kids can do, what position they're better at, not to mention all the parents as far as the community, and learning the other teams that he's going to be coaching against. Pretty tough task, would you say?
It's a challenge, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. To see these guys, and it's not just these four. Johnny and Justin Nelson have, they're the twins that are defensive specialists, and they've worked their tails off. We can put them on anybody and lock them down.
Yeah.
They give it everything they've got. Johnny actually blew a shoe out in practice working so hard.
Wow.
And, they're just raw athletes. They could play any sport and play it well. But yeah, they're just to see them improve and see their game change and see the things that they didn't do well at the beginning of the season or last year, to see how it's improved to this year. It's very rewarding.
Well, we certainly appreciate y'all coming on. We've got just a couple minutes left. I'm going to give you young men the floor. Logan, you got anybody you want to say hello to before we go?
I just want to say thank you to all y'all that support me, and my mom and dad, and especially Coach Kane for taking the time and coaching us this year. And I want to say I love you to my mama. She's at every game that I have, and she supports me just as well as my papa and Stretch.
Stretch, how about you, sir?
I just want to thank all my family and friends that have encouraged me to push forward and to make me reach my best game. And I want to thank my papa. He won't be able to hear this, but he's doing a lot better. He was there at every game. He helped me also improve my game. He was always there to support me.
What about you, Corey?
I want to thank my family and friends, and especially my sister.
Is she older than you are?
Yeah, 2 minutes. And just everybody that supports me.
Tanner, what about you?
I want to say thanks to my family at home to keep me in school, help me keep making good grades, and keep me in sports and helping me do better.
Coach?
Just thanks to, I guess, first and foremost, my wife for putting up with me for a lot from October through January. It's got to be tough on her. She's at every game. She does her stats. She loves it too, but it's got to be tough on her. Mom and Dad for raising me the way that they did, and I think my mama's actually listening tonight too. My mama was like Logan. She was at every game that I ever played. And the community for supporting us, ultimately. I mean, they come out, doesn't matter what the weather is, and they pack our gym out, and they support us night after night. And I appreciate everybody for doing that.
Well, we certainly appreciate y'all for coming on. Once again, I've got Coach Kane, Logan Berry, Stretch Bailey, Carter Wells, and Tanner Davis. And hopefully, this will be the visit here on the Just Sports Show that will break the ice, that we can get Coach Kane and some more of his kids back next year, probably 3 or 4 times during the year if it's possible. Do y'all play games on Thursdays?
Play on Thursday and Monday.
Okay, so that means Tuesdays are open. Y'all have practice on Tuesday, right? We've got the show on Tuesday and Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So hopefully we'll be able to keep them on the air with us a few more times than we did this year. And with that being said, folks, you're watching Just Sports on WLAF Sports Network. Welcome back to the Thursday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with our executive producer, Jason Sharpley. Brent Allen is out tonight on some prior engagements, and it's one of those situations to where he's certainly missed, just like Greg Brackett is. We're also going to have a call-in from Coach Housley tonight about 9:35, but before we get started, On that, I want to talk a little bit about recruiting for an NCAA. We understand that Alabama, for the third consecutive year, they have got the number one recruiting class. Now, you can probably say a lot of different things. First and foremost is, what are they doing down there to get the number one recruiting class? A lot of people say they cheat. Well, nobody knows that to be for sure, but Nick Saban is a gentleman that is one of the, he can recruit just the name Nick Saban, and then you put the coaches around him that has put him in a position to be successful like they are. That's another one in itself. As far as Tennessee, they finished 5th, and I'm trying to get my little teleprompter up here now while we talk. Tennessee finished 5th. LSU was 2nd, Florida State 3rd, and that's something I really don't understand, is how Florida State can finish 3rd. I know they just won a national championship. I know Jimbo Fisher is a good head football coach. I get all that. Texas A&M, they finished 4th. They had a very good recruiting class. Maybe it's because Texas A&M was in the Southeastern Conference. Who knows? Tennessee finished 5th. Florida was 6th. Ohio State was 7th. Auburn was 8th, Georgia 9th, and Miami of Florida was 10th. So, if you really want to think about it, the Southeastern Conference dominated. Folks, if you want to call in, feel free to call in at 566-1450 or 562-3557. Share your opinion. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what you want to really talk about, but we'll talk about it. It's open mic night here on the Thursday night edition of Just Sports. Alabama, like I said, finished 1st. They had a total of 27 commits. 5 of those commits were 5-star players, and Tennessee had 2. But the bottom line is, Nick Saban in Alabama is doing something to continuously get the number one recruits. Now, does Butch Jones seem to have a little bit of that charisma, some of that class, some of that flash, whatever you'd like to call it, because he is number 5. And now we're going to talk to Coach Housley, and then we'll get back to this in just a second. Hello, Coach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, this?
Buddy, I'm doing fantastic. I certainly appreciate you calling in tonight. I know you're very busy scheduled, getting ready for the district tournament. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Starting up next week.
Starting next week. And where would the district be played at, Coach? Do you know right off the bat?
Yeah, all the games are at Powell High School this year.
Powell High School?
Yes, sir.
You and the teams had a pretty tough year. It's not because of lack of effort, for sure. It's not because of lack of heart or motivation. But y'all ran into some teams that has been pretty tough. As far as the fact of having not near enough height, like the rest of the teams in the district. I mean, we've always said since day one, even, Coach, when you first became head coach of the Campbell County Cougars, you made a comment that playing in the toughest district in East Tennessee by far. Now, the other night you played Carnes. You lost a heartbreaker to Carnes, 70-68, and this leads me up to my first question. Seeing how your kids has performed all year long, how much better are these kids now than they were day one, Coach?
It's a completely different team from where we were at back October 28th when we started practicing. They've grown. A lot of people, a lot of kids on the team have grown up basketball-wise and just as a person. The record hasn't been where we want it to be and where it needs to be, but as far as these guys growing up and maturing and becoming better people, I feel like just as individuals, everybody has they've done a good job. We have a lot of guys that have grown up this year on and off the court.
Now, when you got finished with Carnes, and when I say finished with Carnes, I promise you, and you've probably seen this as well, Carnes certainly was sweating that game out because Campbell County Cougars was not going away at any given time during that basketball game. Is that right?
Yeah, they came in, they thought, they I think this game 6 at third base earlier in the year, and really probably just didn't take us very serious. But our kids, I mean, that's one of the frustrating things. They see that they can play with anybody in the district, and obviously we had the talent, we had the players. It's just a matter of doing the right things. So, that night was a big night. Didn't play really well Tuesday night. Monday night was a big night for us to, had a lot of guys step up. Darren Gilwater last year, if he would have ended up specifically a real good guard, the concept of him, he probably would just pass the ball and ran to the other side of the floor. And this year, he took it straight at him and actually got a couple buckets on the way to keep us in the game. So, it's we hate lose, and the shot at the end, we do that shot again today. If I had the exact same situation, I'd put it in there and take it again. But a lot of good to come away from that game as well.
Tuesday night you played Powell and you lost a heartbreaker to Powell as well. It's certainly Powell's one of those teams that slows things down or seems to try to slow things down. You scored 68 against Carnes. You end up scoring, I think it was 43 against Powell. Do you think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the kids absolutely just spent every last little bit of heart they had with Carnes the night prior? It's tough playing two games back to back like that, especially playing two teams. It's that tough. But do you think it had something to do with the fact the emotions of the kids?
Well, I mean, to an extent, yeah. But after the game, after we got out of the locker room and got out there and got home and talking to some of them Tuesday, and they were really upbeat and energetic. Tuesday had a great shoot around and bouncing around. Everybody seemed up and in good spirits, and I wouldn't say that is the reason that we did not play well. We just didn't play well against Powell's. I think our kids were ready for the game and they were mentally in it. It just came down to Powell was better than us that night.
How many seniors do you have on this squad, Coach?
We've got seven seniors.
But you've got a pretty good amount of young men that's played this year. Plus, you've got some kids that's been on the bench that's pretty young as well. So, how many total? If you know right off, how many will you have returning for next year?
Of our top 9 guys that played the majority of minutes. We'll lose Tucker, and we'll lose Nick Bailey. And we'll return Darren, Trey, Austin, Dallas, Griffith, Landon, Reese, Seth Beasley, Austin. Seven of our top 9 will be back next year. 5 of them be seniors next year, 2 of them be sophomores next year. So got a really good freshman class as well. A lot of them didn't get on the floor, didn't get a varsity spot this year just because we were coming up for Boston. But I'm also excited about those guys that haven't put a varsity uniform on yet, though they're freshmen. So hopefully these guys will stick together and hang out for 3 more years.
Yeah, it's certainly a situation where this was your second full year, correct?
Third full year.
That is right. Third full year. You finally are starting to build a nucleus, and now that you've got some of these kids that's going to be coming back next year with the majority of them, how important is that for a coach to really get the kids as buy-in as far as what the coach is wanting to preach or teach or to get out there and get set up? And how has it worked for you this year?
Well, I mean, the guys proved to themselves on Monday, in the Carnes game. If they will, something that we want, we kind of stress, don't play for yourself, play for the other 4 guys on the floor. And Monday was a great example of that. We've got guys that can do, just about anything. I mean, Trey can get to wherever he wants to on the court at any time with the ball. Except they're knockdown shooters from outside. We have a lot of guys that have played roles this year, and I know some of them are juniors. With being like Seth Beasley and Austin, some of those guys haven't played a lot of varsity minutes. But just to get this year of experience in the road, maybe get them coming back next year, and hopefully sprinkle in some of the younger guys that are going to be sophomores and juniors next year. Hopefully have a good foundation for the season next year.
As far as this year, Coach, I know it's been. I've enjoyed watching the kids play. I love the energy. I love the heart that they display when they're out there on the court. I really do. Is there anything as far as that you could look back on that maybe you wished you would have done different, or wished it would have had a second opportunity, like maybe at Carnes or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, and I can, you can go back there and pick out a couple plays, a few key games that obviously would have liked a different outcome. But you're right. I mean, however many losses we had, they've not been for lack of effort or lack of hustle, and that's one thing. We messed up. We didn't get the job done on certain skill parts of the game, and free throws, or anything like that. But I don't think that we lost any game this year just because we didn't have some lack of heart. So the kids play hard, and as long as they're coachable and that they're doing what we're asking, at the end of the day, I'm okay if they're doing what we're asking them to do.
They say a team that hustles is a team that cares about their coach and is a mirror of their coach. Would you agree with that, Coach?
I don't know. It's a lot of they have really good leadership from on the court as well. I think Tucker is a kid that was like what last year and Nathan Tyler over 2 years ago. Just everybody respects him, and there's times on the court where he's got him huddled up, talking to him, we're even in practice. So he's kind of a nice middleman between the court sometimes. So I'm thankful to have him, and I would miss him very much.
Okay, Coach, it's tournament time. The first season done and over with. Doesn't matter what you did in the regular season now. It's coming to tournament time. Are you nervous? Let me ask you that before I go on to some more questions that I have for you.
No, not nervous, just excited. I mean, really, obviously we've not played the third position play, but we want to play it all this year. But that's something that we've been talking about. That we want to, once tomorrow night's over with, after the Halls game, get the completed brand new season, everybody's 0-0, and we talked to her about, there's no, hopefully we have to play a very good game and have some things go our way, but it would be no bitch, but, we didn't play a perfect game against Carnes on Monday, or 2 seed, and once you get to the tournament, anything can happen. I mean, we're going to take the both ways base going into the district tournament, just go out there and let it all hang out, and, make some noise. We've had 2 teams last 2 years make the region as a 6 seed, so there's no reason with the matchups that we had with that we can't do the same this year.
Coach, is that tournament double elimination or single elimination?
Well, it's single elimination until you get to the semifinals. Whenever you get to the final 4 of the district, the two winners in the semifinals play for the championship, and the 2 losers play for the consolation to get a 1 through 4 seed for the region tournament. Okay,
so you're 8th seed going into the tournament. Who did you say you would play, or did you?
Well, it's looking like an 8th seed right now. We'll have to have some things go right tomorrow night in order to get to a 7th seed. And then there's an outside chance could end up with the 9, just because if you ended up beating, I think they'll play tomorrow night. So, I mean, we'll be 7-8 now. We'll be on the same side of the bracket, playing pretty much the same teams. But if we go in as an 8, it'll be Clinton in the first round that we'll play.
You play Halls tomorrow night here at John R.W. Brown. It's certainly one of those situations where you need to probably get a win. They say it's always better to go in tournament off of a win than it is a loss. Is there anything different that you're going to do tomorrow night against Halls than you did the first time, Coach?
We're going to shoot the ball. We're going to win this time. That's the first thing we're trying to do. I mean, just keep their shooters at bay. They've got guys. If you're trying to defend them at the 3-point line, they'll step out 4, 5, 6 feet behind the line. probably the top 8 kid will shoot it, 5 or 6 feet behind the line, not even thinking about it. So, we'll make sure we're getting out to the shooters and make sure that we're getting the rebounds. I mean, we talked last time before we played Halls over at third base, whenever that ball in, we talked about long rebounds, or long shots equal long rebounds. We rebound, we run. We didn't rebound that night, and I think the score ended up like 53-42 or something like that, just because it ended up in a half-court game. So, definitely have to speed the game up and get some rebounds and play in transition if we want to have a chance to win it again.
Seeing the situation that you're in, Coach, as far as a lot of times during games, and I certainly appreciate you taking all this time for me tonight, but being the situation that it is with the kids that you have, you really don't have a whole lot of height. I mean, you do, but then kind of you don't, compared to the other teams in the district. Getting those long rebounds is probably one of the most important things for a small team like that to come up with, because it puts them in an offensive transition a lot quicker than it would be playing half court. And that's when the Campbell County Cougars gets to score more points. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Monday we did, Barnes shot a lot of threes, made a lot of threes, but I think they ended up for 26, but they missed 13 of them, and I think on 10 of those we got the long rebound, took off with it. Whether we scored in transition or not, but we got a good look out of it. So that's really the thing that we've stressed, and we got to make sure that we're doing better tomorrow night than going forward, because we've got the kind of kids that can get out and run. We've got a really good point guard, a couple good shooting guards. Tucker can do just about everything. So if it's a full court, we got all our chances.
I understand. Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you calling in. I really enjoy watching you coach. I really enjoy watching your kids play. I'll be out tomorrow night to see you beat Halls, and yes, I did say beat Halls because it's certainly one of those situations that Campbell County Cougars can certainly do. And I believe, Coach, I may be stepping outside my boundary here, but I believe now that the Campbell County Cougars played as well as they did against Carnes and almost beat the Carnes Beavers, I'm thinking that they're starting to believe in what you're coaching and also starting to believe in one another.
That's a big deal for us, playing for one another instead of ourselves. So if they do that and keep pushing it, keep working for one another, play as a team, that's what we want. We like our chances if we're doing that. Just so you're correct.
Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate you calling in, and thank you so very much, and I'll be out to see you tomorrow night.
All right, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the support, Dennis. I appreciate you.
No problem, buddy. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See you.
Bye-bye. Coach Housey of the Campbell County Cougars, they're in a situation to where they're right now an 8th seed, quite possibly could be a 7th seed, depending on what happens tomorrow night. Of course, Campbell County will play Halls at John R.W. Brown Gymnasium. Tip-off for the girls, I believe, is at 6:30. You can hear all the action. If you're not out at the gymnasium, you can hear all the action on 1450WLAF.com. Also, watch the game as well. I think the boys will tip off shortly after the girls' game is over. I say 6:30. It could possibly be 6 or 6:30. I don't remember right off the top of my head. I do apologize. But I do have another announcement to make as well. On February the 7th, which is tomorrow, Corey Phillips, which was the tall wide receiver for Campbell County High School, will sign to play football with Kentucky Christian University at noon tomorrow at Campbell County High School. And I do believe the signing will be in the library where they all have been. But that's Corey Phillips. Congratulations to Corey Phillips. We don't have any information on Christian Monday, Nick Bailey, or Andrew Evans as of just yet where they're going to go. We'll be in contact with them over the weekend to find out if we can get some information from those young men. Certainly those young men are certainly deserving to play at the next level, regardless whether it's Division I, NAIA, Division II, Division III, whatever the case may be. They certainly need to deserve an opportunity to play, as all of those young men is very skilled in the position that they did play. Also, Coach Price and his staff, I'll say Coach Price and his staff, the information I've got is head coach Justin Price will be at Jacksboro Middle School on Friday, that's tomorrow, at 10:45 for National Signing Day for the high school. As you all remember, the last 2 or 3 years, the last 2 years, Coach Price has went to the Jacksboro Middle School, the Follett Middle School, and had these young men to sign something, and what it is, they're not actually bound to go to up there and play, or it's not a contract, it's not anything like that. It only adds a perspective of National Signing Day to a middle school kid that a coach at the next level would like for him to play in his program, and it's just excitement for these young men at the middle school level. So tomorrow at 10:45 he will be at Jacksboro Middle School, as well as at 2:15 he will be at La Follette Middle School, and that is tomorrow, February the 7th. Once again, Corey Phillips will sign with Kentucky Christian University at noon at Campbell County High School. I do believe it will be in the library. And also head coach Justin Price will be at Jacksboro Middle School at 10:45 tomorrow morning for signing day for the middle school at Jacksboro, and at 2:15 for La Follette Middle School signing day. And I think it's something great for the program. Now, let's get back to talking a little bit of recruiting. First, let me get this phone. Thanks for calling. You, Just Sports, you on the air.
Hey, Les.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, Les?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
Okay. What do you think about what Tennessee does? That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, they were number 5. That's very good. Matter of fact, I believe I heard a stat the other day to where they've had more 5-star and 4-star recruits this year, or 5-star recruits, than they have had in the last 6 years. So that's telling you something. Coach Jones has certainly preached something to these young men to get them to buy into his program, even though they went 5 and 7. I mean, let's face it, if I'm a 5-star athlete, do you think I'm going to go to a program that just came off of a season with a 5 and 7 record? Would you?
No.
Exactly. There's got to be something that Coach Jones is doing, and maybe it's the family thing. Maybe it's the brick by brick. Of course, just to be perfectly honest with you, I'm a Vol fan, but I get sick of hearing the brick by brick. I'm wanting to put walls up by now. I want the Vols to start winning. That's where I'm at. Forget about the bricks. Let's go with the wall.
Well, I think this year, I believe we might have a good team this year. Counting the ones that he's already got from last year, and I'm going to say that now you mark it down. I'm going to say that they'll beat Alabama this year.
You think they'll beat Alabama?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Alabama lost to Auburn, was the only game that they lost. And, of course, they lost their bowl game to Oklahoma. But Tennessee, to beat Alabama this year coming up, there's going to have to be a lot of potential and a lot of participation from these young men that they're getting in now that's 17 and 18 years old. And I just don't know if that will happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those situations to where it takes time to get some experience. It's not high school anymore. It's your college. It is the next level. But, you know, with that being said, it's very possible anything can happen. Coach Jones, I mean, let's face it. If we get Riley Ferguson firing on all cylinders, and I do believe Riley Ferguson will be the quarterback in 2014 for the Tennessee Vols. I don't think it's going to be Josh Dobbs. I don't think it's going to be Nathan Peterman. I don't think it's going to be Justin Worley. I think it's going to be Riley Ferguson, just to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
And let's face it, who knows? I mean, you've got Jalen Hurd coming in, which is a 5-star. You've got another 5-star, Josh Malone, which is a wide receiver. You've got some talent coming in, but experience may be the issue. If you can get somebody to break out, like this Marquez North that played last year, and get some help for Riley Ferguson, and these running backs can pick up the slack, you know, I guess the question would be, is the offensive line going to have what it takes to get there?
Yeah. Well, you have a good, buddy.
All right, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Colin. Just Sports, you on the air.
Hey, that's just been on from Jacksonville. How you doing tonight?
Buddy, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, big Earl?
Doing wonderful, as always. It's really going to be Big Earl. Ain't no two ways about it, man.
Well, I would say you're probably right.
Hey, I know it's late. I'm sorry I wanted to call earlier. Not know how to call much of it, but been on the road. People's been out traveling and trying to get some warm weather. It's cold everywhere, but I tell you right now, this recruiting thing going on. I think Big Earl has kind of gone away from watching recruiting, because I tell you what, well, if you don't know what a bunch of 17, 18-year-old kids are going to turn into in 3 or 4 years.
I agree.
So, you know, I don't know if you saw the statistic. Did you see the statistic of what the stars of the players of the Seattle Seahawks were when they were coming out of high school?
No, I did not.
I tell you what, Wes, I need to send it to you. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Most of them were 3 stars, but there were some that weren't even ranked coming out of high school.
That's
You know, I think I would say 60% of the players were 3 stars and 2 stars on that Seattle Seahawks team.
wow.
But what that does, that's what that tells you is, it ain't about the stars that you get when you come out of high school, but do with those stars to make them into players. And I tell you right now, I think if you find the right 3-star players, you can turn them into a heck of a football team. But I tell you what, they get Alabama credit for what they're doing. And you know, you stack the thing with a bunch of 5 stars, you probably going to have a better chance to win it than a bunch of 3 stars. So that's the way it's out.
Right, exactly.
But I tell you that it was an amazing statistic to see so many of those guys for the Seattle Seahawks weren't 6-star players coming out of high school.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And Peyton took it on the chin last week. I hated to see it. Wes, you know, I tried to use my reverse psychology. I predicted Seattle to win just so they would lose. And you know what? It just turned out, I found out one thing. I realized one thing by doing that. Even if Big Earl tries to be wrong, he's right.
You're absolutely right. I agree with that.
Today, Wes, you know, hopefully one of these days I'll try to purposely be wrong, and I'll be wrong. But I don't know. It's hard for Big Earl to be wrong sometimes, you know.
Yes, sir.
It's just the curse of the Big Earl. That's all I got to say.
All righty, buddy.
Hey, Wes, hey, buddy, have a good night. Big Earl's dropped the knowledge, and he's gone.
All right, see you, buddy. There you have it. Even when Big Earl is trying to be wrong, he's right. That's amazing. Folks, it is our time to say goodbye. We have been on the air now for almost an hour. I don't know where an hour's been, where it has went to, but we've certainly had a good time. Thank you to the Follett Middle School basketball team, Coach Kane, Logan Berry, Carter Wells, Stretch Bailey, and Tanner Davis. We certainly appreciate those young men for coming in. Appreciate the people that's called in and asked questions. We certainly appreciate that. We're on every Tuesday and every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Tuesday night, we're going to have another special team here. We're going to have Jacksboro Middle School basketball team that will be here next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So you want to stay tuned and listen to those young men as well, as far as Coach Parker. You know, as you heard the rest of them talk about, La Follette Middle School talk about how important that rivalry was between Jacksboro and La Follette. We're going to hear Jacksboro's side now come Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. So let me get this one caller. Thanks for calling Just Sports. You on the air.
The Lady Vols are leading this by 9 points at halftime. And they got a technical on with his coach for running up down the sideline of all of these players.
We're good.
That was leading 14 one time when I switched over to him, but he's back down now.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. For all of our wonderful sponsors, your Hometown Sears Studio, Rainbow Ford, Charlie's Pizza, All-Star Awards, and Bird Screen Printing, we certainly appreciate you and allowing us to make this happen. You're watching Just Sports. For our executive producer, Mr. Jason Shockley, my name is Les Martin. God bless and go Cougars. This is WLAF Sports Network.